Please subscribe the channel and hit the like button. Russian forces conducted offensive operations and made limited territorial gains near Stepove on July 15. Geolocated footage published on July 15 shows that unspecified Russian infantry advanced slightly in Novoselivsk and hold entrenched positions along the railroad near the settlement. The Ukrainian General Staff reported that Russian forces conducted unsuccessful offensive operations south of Novoselivsk. A Kremlin-affiliated milblogger reported that Russian forces are also trying to seize a tactical height near Novoselivsk and clear Ukrainian forces from the forests south of the settlement. The milblogger claimed that neither Russian or Ukrainian forces control Novoselivsk and that movement in the settlement is difficult due to a lack of shelter and Ukrainian drone activity. The milblogger also claimed that Russian artillery elements of the 21st Separate Guards Motorized Rifle Brigade stopped a Ukrainian attack near Kuzymivka. Ukrainian Eastern Group of Forces spokesperson Colonel Serhiy Cherevety reported that Russian forces are most active in the Kupiansk and Lyman directions. A Russian source claimed that Ukrainian forces conducted offensive operations near Kreminna and did not make any advances in the area on July 15. A Kremlin-affiliated milblogger claimed that a Ukrainian sabotage and reconnaissance group attempted to break through Russian defensive lines towards Dybrova from the Serebryansk forest area. The milblogger also claimed that Ukrainian forces continued offensive operations in the forests west of Kreminna. Russian forces conducted offensive operations near Kreminna and reportedly made limited territorial gains on July 15. The Ukrainian General Staff and Cherevety reported that Russian forces conducted unsuccessful offensive operations east of Novosadov, west of Dybrova, and east of Vasil. The Russian Ministry of Defense, MOD, claimed that Russian forces repelled 2 Ukrainian attacks near Makiyivka and Torsky. A Russian milblogger claimed that Russian forces advanced near Torsky and in the forests near Kreminna. A Kremlin-affiliated milblogger claimed that Russian forces advanced towards Yampolivka but that there is currently no reliable information on the control of terrain around Torsky. Another milblogger posted footage claiming to show elements of the Russian 228th Mechanized Infantry Regiment along with unspecified elements of a Chechen Akhmet reconnaissance unit assaulting Ukrainian positions near Kreminna. Ukrainian forces reportedly made limited territorial gains on Bakhmut's southern flank. As positional battles continued elsewhere along the Bakhmut frontline on July 15, a Kremlin-affiliated milblogger claimed that Ukrainian forces advanced near Andrivka and crossed the Siversky-Donetsk-Donbass Canal in the area. Another Russian source claimed that Ukrainian forces advanced in the Kurdyamivka direction, while the Russian Ministry of Defense also claimed that Russian Southern Group of Forces repelled Ukrainian attacks on Kurdyamivka. Russian sources claimed that Ukrainian forces continued to attack Russian positions near Klishchivka and unsuccessfully attempted to regain positions in the Berkivka area. The milblogger noted that the situation largely did not change in the Berkivka and Rozdalivka areas. And several Russian milbloggers claimed that intense battles are ongoing in the Klishchivka area. Ukrainian Eastern Group of Forces spokesperson Colonel Serhiy Cherevety observed that Ukrainian forces maintain the initiative on the Bakhmut frontline. Russian sources claimed that Russian forces made limited advances on Bakhmut's northern and southern flanks and continued to respond to Ukrainian counteroffensives by committing elite units to defend Bakhmut's flanks on July 15. A Kremlin-affiliated milblogger claimed that Russian forces successfully counterattacked west and northwest of Klishchivka and recaptured 500 meters of territory. The Ukrainian General Staff reported that Russian forces unsuccessfully launched assaults southwest of Andrivka and in the Berkivka area. A Kremlin-affiliated milblogger claimed that Russian forces unsuccessfully counterattacked near Berkivka, and Ukrainian forces were able to retain their positions. A Russian milblogger claimed that Russian forces are constantly sending reinforcements to defend against Ukrainian attacks and have transferred an unspecified BARS unit from the Kreminna area to Klishchivka. Chechen Republic head Ramzan Kadyrov claimed that elements of the Chechen Akhmet Spetsnaz Unit, 364th Special Purpose Brigade, and 4th Motorized Rifle Brigade are operating in the Klishchivka area. A Russian milblogger indicated that elements of the 364th Special Purpose Brigade are involved in repelling Ukrainian counteroffensives near Klishchivka. A Kremlin-affiliated milblogger also noted that elements of the Russian 98th Guards Airborne (VDV) Division advanced south of the Orikhiv Reservoir on July 13. Russian commitment of numerous VDV and Spetsnaz units north and south of Bakhmut indicates that Ukrainian counteroffensives in the Bakhmut direction are continuing to trigger the deployment of further reinforcements, predominantly from the Luhansk front line. Russian forces continued limited offensive operations on the Donetsk city Avdiivka line but did not make any territorial gains on July 15. The Ukrainian General Staff reported that Russian forces conducted unsuccessful offensive operations in the Pervomaisk, Marinka, and Novomykhailivka areas. A Russian news aggregator claimed that Russian forces attacked Ukrainian positions near Novokalinov and southwest of Avdiivka, while positional battles continued in Marinka. A Kremlin-affiliated milblogger claimed that Russian forces conducted unsuccessful attacks on Novomykhailivka, Marinka, and Pervomaisk. Ukrainian forces continued counteroffensive operations along the western Donetsk-eastern Zaporizhia Oblast border and reportedly made limited gains on July 15. A Kremlin-affiliated milblogger claimed that Ukrainian forces gained a foothold near Hrashiva Gully. The Russian Ministry of Defense claimed that Russian forces repelled 2 Ukrainian attacks near Uruzhain. Russian milbloggers claimed that Ukrainian forces conducted attacks northwest of Staromayorsk and near Pyatykhatky. A milblogger claimed on July 14 that Ukrainian forces conducted attacks near Novodonetsk, Uruzhain, Pyatykhatky, and Staromayorsk. Footage published on July 15 purportedly shows elements of the Bazumsa Company of the 3rd Motorized Rifle Battalion operating in the Zaporizhia Donetsk Oblast border area. Ukrainian forces continued counteroffensive operations and reportedly made limited advances in western Zaporizhia Oblast on July 15. Russian milbloggers claimed that Ukrainian forces made limited advances northeast of Robotyne. Zaporizhia Oblast Occupation Administration head Yevgeny Balitsky claimed that Russian forces repelled 2 platoon-sized Ukrainian sabotage and reconnaissance groups in the Pyatykhatky and Stepove directions. A Russian milblogger claimed on July 14 that elements of the 429th Motorized Rifle Regiment repelled Ukrainian attacks near Pyatykhatky-Zherebyanky. Footage published on July 15 purportedly shows elements of the 70th Motorized Rifle Regiment